speaking of you. Heart and soul, 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 speaking of you.
You're listening to Inspired by Jazz with me, Teresa, and the lovely Ian Hill. He's here as my guest this evening. We've just been listening to a couple of his tracks. But I have to tell you, Ian, where you are. You're actually in the old rectory at Pear Tree Bridge. I know you put your sat-nav on, but you probably didn't take any notice of where you were going. And we share this building with our partners, Interaction. And Interaction have been bringing arts to Milton Keynes for 35 years now. Yeah, it's a great little place, isn't it?
Beautiful.
We were talking while that song was on. We should have been paying attention, really. But we were talking again about... I was saying to you that I felt that was soul. And you were saying that there's sort of it's a mix. Do you want to just explain that to me?
Well, I guess it's, what are these categories really? And I suppose for me, these categories, soul, funk, rock, pop, they're really all versions of kind of a broad types of music, popular music that come together and fuse and mix and interact with each other and come out in different ways. And I guess, I find it difficult to label a lot of music now.
Yes.
And,
but you said something about there being jazz chords underneath it.
Harmonically, there's some, there's not a 3-chord trick going on there. There's stuff that's there to try to make textures that sound interesting, but they're not, they're not meant to, get you, choking on your cornflakes or anything like that. It's a bit smooth. Maybe
it's more like chocolate.
It's more like galaxy. And but there's some jazz that I love, which is much more about taking you towards an edge. And I think for me, I like having that broad.
Yes.
Palette of song choices. So if I'm going to do smooth jazz or soul track, that's what it is. I like to know I've got that repertoire in me. And sometimes it all just comes out in what comes out. I suppose I don't really want to edit too much either. Just let it happen, see what comes out. So that might be the mood I'm in that day.
Well, we're going to move on now to something a bit more gypsy jazz. And this is another one, I think, by Django, Reinhardt and Stefano Grappelli. And again, I found lots of different versions of this one. And I'm not sure whether you like this one, but I picked it particularly because it's got a harmonica and a fiddle.
Okay.
And I don't find many jazz tracks with those two instruments, and I love both of them. So should we have a listen to Minor Swing?
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
the Dixieland Gypsy Band. What did you think of that, Ian?
Oh, you couldn't keep still, could you? Listening to
it was great, wasn't it?
You know, it's real. You know, that captures.
We've been bopping, haven't we?
Yeah, it captures the atmosphere of that kind of hot club de Paris vibe that was part of the whole Reinhardt and Stefan Grappelli their own genre almost that they created, which is fantastic.
So you didn't know you were going to go on an hour's holiday with me this evening?
I really enjoyed myself now.
Oh, it was great. I usually enjoy myself when I come to your jazz jam.
Yeah.
Let's just talk a little bit about that now. It's every third Sunday of the month, isn't it?
Every third Sunday of the month at a venue called Style Bar in Rugby, between 4 and 7.
And it's been going for 7 years?
At least, yeah, about 7 years now. We've been there, as I say, every month. And one of the things that makes that jam session so, I suppose, successful really is partly due to us having a stable rhythm section with Graham Dent and Jeff Cook, our key stalwarts there.
They're fabulous.
Who've been brilliant, and we've been fortunate to have drummers that come in and fill in that chair. Talking
of drummers, I'm just going to interrupt you for a moment because Will Remington, on my very first show, he was running the Birmingham Half Marathon, and I told people about it. And I asked Will when I saw him at your jam on Sunday to give me an update. So let me just tell you. He ran the Birmingham Half Marathon for the Fresh Start Foundation, which is a Gambian charity, but it's a very practical charity. And when he's got all the money together, he's raised £1,164. Isn't that fabulous?
Well done, Walt.
And well done, Walt. And he also said, if anyone's listening, the Just Giving page is still open, so you can go to www.justgiving.com/Wal, that's WAL Wilmington. And the money that he's raised is going to buy some school meals for 3 months for about 700 young people.
Brilliant.
That's fantastic. So, going back to your jazz jam, Ian, what made you decide to start something like that?
Well, I think we needed, from my point of view, certainly we needed to have some, as musicians in that area, in that town, and I guess in and around Rugby, which is where I'm based at the moment.
Yeah.
Somewhere where we could play regularly and play, jazz music regularly. Yeah. And the structure that we put together was one where we would feature a particular jazz artist each month, just as a way that we could pull the material together and have an event that was fairly organised, fairly structured, but enough space for people to come in and out and play, get used to the repertoire. And I think one of the important things for us as a group was to have the opportunity for the jazz repertoire to be learnt, I guess, in the way that I suppose historically this is how people learnt the music. They went to jam sessions, they played with each other, they built their technical abilities, they built their musicianship skills, they learnt how to interact with each other. And we do that with a few beers thrown in around the edges.
Yeah, it certainly works for me, because if you remember, I haven't been coming for very long, but I came to you and I said, look, I'm just getting back into music after a while, and I've found exactly what you've described there. It's a great warm atmosphere. There are people of all levels of ability, and you have a lovely way about you that makes people very welcoming. And I've also found that I'm getting more courageous and more skilled by playing with people of a higher standard than myself, and I've really enjoyed that. Our next tune is by a fabulous lady called Billie Holiday, and it's called Summer of the Spring. Why have you chosen this one?
Lovely song, brilliant version by Billie Holiday, one of my favourite jazz singers of all time, and I guess I'm not the only one who feels that way.
Yeah.
And this song, I love the lyrics of it. Again, it sort of takes me somewhere, takes me back into a period of time, but it, as an instrumentalist, we start off with Anita O'Day. Anita Baker is another.
Yeah, she's great as well, but it was Anita O'Day.
Anita O'Day. Part of the way that we perhaps play and approach our playing is to imitate this vocalist's sound or phrasing, or the nuances that they have in their voice or their style. And you've got a whole palette of stuff that you can get from Billie Holiday that'll keep you going forever.
Yes, it's quite unique, isn't it?
It was a unique sound, and so and this is just one of many songs I could have chosen, really. But
shall we have a listen to it then? Yeah, great.